You're listening to East Wave FM, and it is a very good morning to you. If you've just joined us, we are on the chat network with Coach Zaid. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. We got quite a nice topic today because this is something that is one of my bugbears.
Okay. Please introduce the topic. And how are you, Coach Zaid? Before we get into it, how are you doing?
Oh, interesting. I was actually almost caught in the middle of an armed robbery yesterday.
Wow.
So that was quite an interesting experience, seeing people speeding past and shooting as if it was the Wild West. But it was a crazy, surreal kind of experience because it reminds you of how easy it is that we take everything for granted, even though we should be able to.
Yeah.
Right? Like taking safety for granted, taking peace for granted, taking public spaces for granted. And it's just insane. And then how you move on from that without letting that shape the rest of your life. It becomes another experience.
So true. I mean, just popping out to do an errand and people take it for granted that, okay, we'll see you just now. And you find yourself in the midst of something that could be life-changing, life-altering, life-ending.
Yes, and it's something that affects you in spaces that you frequent every single day of your life, right? Every other day you go through those places and go through those spaces and go to those shops and go to those to do those chores and things like that, and suddenly something happens and it gets you to realize that you've actually been walking blind all the time.
Well, we are grateful that you are okay. Oh my goodness. It's amazing how South Africans, we just prime for crime. We've got like PTSD every day. We're just walking around like, oh yeah, I was mugged the other day.
Yeah.
They were shooting and driving past me, and it's just amazing how desensitized we are.
True.
Until we find ourselves in that situation, and it just brings you, to a point of, oh my word.
Yes.
You find yourself going just a few seconds later. If I had just been wrong place, wrong time, or you just start thanking the Almighty for the small mercies that turn out to be the big mercies, the delays, the blessings in every delay.
True.
But so this week's topic is I love the way you put it in the poster there. We said that we'd be talking about, does character reveal pressure? I mean, does pressure reveal character? And basically you asking us, what are your true colors?
Everyone believes that they're good, right? If only you knew, and if only you understood, and if only you experienced what I experienced. And there's a lot of truth to that. But the person who's experiencing your behavior, if they don't know that, they don't know that that's the reason why you're behaving that way. So what are your true colors? And I think one of the problems we've got is that we reduce people to this kind of, it's a big word, but I like the word, it's a monolithic kind of view. The single kind of box them into one specific compartment and say, that's you.
Yeah.
And then we assume that that person is not allowed to have a bad day or have a good day or have an exhilarating day. They must just be that way all the time, the way we expect them and need them to be.
Yeah, the way we need them to be.
Yes.
And that is selfish.
It is very selfish. But we don't see it as selfish because in our mind we think we've got good reason why it is that we have a legitimate right to have them be that way.
So someone has a bad day.
Yeah.
Like, I know, okay, let's bring it to someone has a bad day, they come home and basically they're not themselves, and it causes conflict because why? People are taking their behavior personally, not actually asking, how was your day? Like,
yes,
is there anything you need? Like, are you okay? Do you need a few minutes? Imagine people approach it with that reaction. Like,
true.
How was your day?
But to be able to do that, you have to be somewhat more concerned about the next person than you are about yourself.
Yeah.
What you need from them.
Yeah.
And because we live such high-pressured lives, most of the time those are self-imposed pressures. We automatically assume that, hey, if I've got to sit and worry about everyone else, no one's going to worry about me, and then I'm not going to get anything done, and no one's going to make excuses for me, and no one's going to give me a break or anything like that. So that's why everyone becomes selfish.
All I hear is me.
Yep.
So we need to shift.
So here's a question: is that your true colors? Me,
Oi.
me, me.
Yeah. Yeah, is that your true colors? Me. I. What a
Yes,
lonely little world to exist in.
exactly. Right. So we need to be careful about how it is that we box people,
Yeah.
because the way we box them, then we're giving them permission to box us in the same way.
Yeah.
So if we don't allow people to have a bad day, then we not allowed to have a bad day either.
Mm-hmm.
It can't be that, oh no, I know how bad I got it, so that's why you can't judge me, but I'll judge you because I know what you like and I know what you're about because I've seen this before and all. And it's self-indulgent, and the more self-indulgent you are, the more insecure you are about who you are, about yourself,
Mm-hmm.
and about your standing with the people around you.
Why would your mood have something to do with me? Like, why do we personalize it? Like, you see how you are with me when you are in this mood.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's because if we lack self-awareness and we lack that understanding of what impact we have on others, we're going to automatically assume that everything is about us, not about them,
Mm-hmm.
right? And that way we lose sight of what impact we have on them, how we're showing up for them, why it is that even though we might be justified to be a certain way and have a certain tone, why it is that that is going to be insensitive, counterproductive. It's going to diminish what it is that they might be going through. So you don't know what someone else is going through, especially if it's not someone close to you, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when you show up in that space as if like your problems are your problems, don't make it my problem.
Yeah.
To some point, yeah, we need to be functional in that way in society, in the workplace and things like that. But on the other hand, where's our humanity gone? Where's
Yeah.
our empathy gone?
Mm-hmm.
And that's the one thing I find missing across the board. Not just in social relationships, but in families, in
Mm-hmm.
parent-child relationships, in child-parent relationships, across the board. There's a lack of empathy.
What is the result? What does that result in? Lack of empathy?
Lack of empathy is what drives the me culture,
Mm.
right?
Mm.
Everything is about me. Everything is about how I experience things and how I need things and how I um, don't feel like doing things and how it is that everything's affecting me.
Mm-hmm.
Why it's affecting me that way is I don't care why it's affecting me. It's affecting me and I don't like it, so you must change something.
Yeah.
So when it comes down to trying to say, well, okay, well, that's what that person is about. Within what context of life is that person like that?
Mm-hmm.
Because it brings me back to a topic that most people hate for me to talk about it because it doesn't go according to the mainstream narrative, and that is narcissistic behavior.
Mm-hmm.
That me mindset is a narcissistic mindset,
Mm-hmm.
right? But just because you think you're being kind and considerate and generous to the people around you, you assume that you're not narcissistic.
Yeah.
But I believe that if narcissism is about the fixation on the self and what you need, then the person who's fixated on the insecurities are just as narcissistic as the person who is fixated on wanting to prove that they worth it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But we don't see it that way. And how all of this relates to the topic is that because of all these blind spots, of all these things that we don't consider, we lose sight of how it is that we're judging someone else.
Mm-hmm.
So when is it someone's true colors? When they reach an understandable level of frustration with you and they can't deal with that kind of theme or that cycle that they've been in with you and they lash out? Is that their true colors?
Mm-hmm.
Or is their true colors the fact that they had patience enough to try and work through that for so long without any without lashing out before they got to a point where they said enough is enough?
I think that's such an important question. Why is it that only when somebody reacts in a, in an angry way or when they're having a bad day because of that context, you say that's your true colors
Yes.
and not the consistent good behavior, the consideration, the love, why is that not true colors? Why do we lean
Exactly.
towards the negative for that's your true colors?
What does it say about the gratitude and appreciation of the person who resorts to that judgment that says that, oh, that's your true colors?
Mm-hmm.
We could have had a lifetime of friendship,
Mm-hmm.
but now that you sided with someone that I hate,
Mm-hmm.
that's your true colors. So that means you were never a good friend in the first place.
Yeah, this is who you truly are. You've been waiting to reveal yourself. At least now I know who you are. Like 30 years of friendship and then the one mistake and then, yeah, this is who you are.
Mm-hmm. How many people, and there are people that do this, right, but very few.
Mm-hmm.
How many people look at someone who they know to be better than that, having a bad day, and they say, hold on, what's going on? This is not how I know you,
Yes.
right? And then they give them the benefit of the doubt to try to understand why it is that they're behaving that way.
Yeah.
But you still don't write the person off just because they're having a bad day or because they're having a string of bad days. Because often the things that get us to change our character, it's something that is profoundly moving for us as an experience.
Yeah.
So we're actually telling people that you don't have a right to change the way you are just because something happened to you. Seriously?
Yeah. Yeah.
So where's the humanity in that? And that's what we've lost. We've lost humanity.
I think that's such an important component to relationships, working relationships, social relationships, romantic relationships. This thing of, pressure revealing who you are. No, pressure reveals that you're having a bad day. What type of pressure is it? What is it revealing and to whom? Because then
Yes.
what is the lens through which they're looking at you as well?
Pressure reveals what your tolerance levels are, what your capacity is.
That's it.
That's it. It doesn't reveal anything more than that.
Yeah.
Right? Because how many of us look back on life and we think, oh, what was I thinking?
Yeah.
If only I knew better. I didn't realize what it is that I was throwing away. I didn't realize how I was treating them.
Yeah.
I didn't realize what the bad, whatever it is that I was to that person. We all have those moments. So was that your true colors? Or is your true colors the fact that you can look back with remorse and regret
Yeah.
and a desire to want to actually do better or to want to make right?
Yeah.
Which is your true colors? It can't be both. Right? Because if you want to say what's your true colors, you're reducing someone to that single experience. So you're either a good person or you're a bad person. You can't be both. You're either a patient person or you're an impatient person. Or you're either selfish or you're selfless, but you can't be both.
Yeah, and if somebody is consistently putting you down, treating you a certain way, they showed their true colors, and then, like in one single moment, they want to do something nice for you. What do we say about that?
We need to consider, well, okay, especially if we can't prove to ourselves that there's something in it for them when they're being nice, right? Either they had a life-changing experience that caused them to change, or what if we perceiving them as being putting us down and being difficult with us all this time
Yeah.
was actually them being invested in us being a better person. And because of their principles and their value system that they try to live by, they weren't willing to enable that behavior of ours that they thought was problematic.
So, true colors,
hmm
it's subjective.
It is, and I think it belongs on the scrap heap of apartheid. Because it talks to the same mentality, right?
Yeah.
You're defined by a single attribute. That's it. We don't care about everything else that's good or bad about you. That single attribute about you is what matters more than anything else.
Absolutely.
So in the moment that I needed you to stand up for me, whether I was right or wrong, I don't care. But you're supposed to be a friend and loyalty and all of that. No, if you want loyalty, get a dog. People who are loyal to the point of error, to the point of enabling and encouraging and condoning and defending and justifying bad behavior, that's not your friend, and that's not loyalty.
Yeah.
That's selfish.
Right.
Because they're more concerned about how they're going to appear rather than what they stand for.
Yeah.
A true friend is someone who prevents you from causing harm, not someone who defends and justifies the harm that you cause and then tries to deal with you in private about like, hey, you shouldn't have done that. You going in private and advising someone that they shouldn't have done that doesn't do anything for the person who was on the receiving end of that harm that they caused.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what are you really standing for? And what's your real true colors? Is your true colors to protect what it is that that feeds your ego, that feeds your needs and your social circles and things like that? Or are your true colors that you stand for a universal code of justice and value and principle
No matter
and
what.
all of that, right? And because we have a low self-esteem, we're more inclined towards loyalty than we are towards justice. Because low self-esteem is what drives us to want validation from others and want to be seen a certain way by others. And when it becomes too expensive to maintain that, that's when we lash out. And when we lash out, then people look at us and think, oh, so that's your true colors.
This is who you are.
Mm-hmm.
So it's important to work on your sense of self, the way you feel about yourself, your insecurities, because essentially that's the root.
Yes.
Very important.
And the reason why so many people find it difficult to connect with this whole self-esteem issue A lot of people think that they have a healthy self-esteem, my value, my worth, and they claim that. If you're actively claiming it, it's not self-worth, it's defensiveness. Self-worth is revealed in what you make yourself available to,
Yeah.
not what you have as a narrative going on in your head. So the reason why people struggle with it is because they don't know who they want to be, they only know who they have to be.
There's such a big difference,
It's a massive difference.
like who you want to be versus who you have to be.
Yes. And that's why so many people are defined by their roles. And that's why you find people who say that, oh no, at home he's like this, and in public he's like that, and at home she's like this, and in public she's like that. It's because they fulfilling the expectation of the role relative to how it makes them feel about their expectation of them. You're not seeing the person, you're seeing the role player.
Yeah, yeah. It makes me think about this quote that somebody said about before people decide how much to respect you, they first ask you, what do you do?
Yeah. But it's one of those tropes that I fundamentally disagree with. Because some people might do that, right? Some people might. But it's even those people who do that, it's not because they're consciously deciding whether they should or shouldn't respect you.
Yeah.
It's that they only look up to people that they think has arrived, has all that, right? But if you don't ask someone what do they do, or you don't show that curiosity about where they're coming from, how are you ever going to understand how to interact and relate to them? Because we discover people through understanding what they're interested in, what they're passionate about, how they see the world.
Yeah.
So now if you don't go and ask someone, what do you do? Like, innocently. Like, what line of work are you in? You don't know whether they're into the sales space, are they into the retail space, are they into engineering, are they into accounting, you don't know what is their overall kind of mindset about how they might see the world. So if you don't know that, you're less likely to be able to interact with them in a way that connects.
Yeah, yeah. So be careful of your insecurities. It could be tripping you.
Your insecurities always trip you, and people always ask me, like, how do you identify it? Well, the more egotistical you are, the more insecure you are. The more you deliberately put in this effort to show that you're all that,
Yeah.
the more insecure you are. So your ego is the sum total of your insecurities. People complicate it. The more insecure you are, the more egotistical you behave, because you go into defense mode.
And that's your true colors.
Well, apparently that's your true colors, right? Because, like, if I'm going to be assumed to be my insecurities, right, then who considers why it is that I'm insecure about that in the first place? What's my internal struggle? Is that my true colors, or is what you see on the surface my true colors?
That's the thing. And I worry about the lens that is used to find the true colors. Like, I worry because many families have broken because of a single moment of pressure.
Yes.
And then a reaction. And then that reaction is, this is your true colors.
How many families have that strain? It's an important point you're raising, because it erodes family kind of harmony and the unity more than anything else. It's like, oh no, we know their true colors, so then you start having these cliques in the family.
Yeah.
And the ones who are on one side, they all there, and the others on the other side are all there, and the only time they actually straddle that divide, they ever come together, is when they have like these token gatherings where everyone has to behave.
Or a funeral.
Or a funeral.
Yeah.
Which is sad part, right?
Yeah.
But even at the funeral, then they start comparing notes about who's more affected by the funeral.
Yeah, yeah. No, for sure.
It's shameless.
And the thing is, you look up to people and you're thinking, okay, how do you stay calm? You know, there are those people. I always look at Tuli Madonsela. The time of her book is called No Longer Whispering to Power, and her calm response, even when she was in front of a panel and she knew she was coming under fire, and just the way that she handled herself. I'll always look up to that demeanor of hers and the way she calmly spoke. You know, there are people who really have a handle on themselves, emotionally and otherwise.
What makes it possible? I think you have to reach a point of acceptance that what people don't get about you is not because of who you are. It's just they don't get it. They're not in a position to. They're not equipped to.
Yeah.
And if you truly believe with conviction in what it is that you're doing, you're going to be more focused on how do you get that across to others, rather than Why is it that others don't want to trust you and take you seriously and all of that, right? And it's a struggle for most of us, because that's where the self-esteem issues and the insecurities and that come to the surface.
Yeah.
What makes you feel vulnerable? And it's in moments of vulnerability that we come out lashing, right? And that's then what we want to reduce someone to. That in your weakest moment, that's who you are.
Yeah.
So in their strongest moment, were they doing it just because there was something in it for them? And like I always say, if you're going to accuse someone of something like that, make sure that there's no evidence that contradicts what it is that you're accusing them of. So if they did something for you and there was nothing in it for them, you can't say, well, yeah, well, who knows?
I find that's how they justify, like, who knows? They were probably, that was what they had at the back of their mind this whole time.
Maybe they were just playing me, or they were just setting me up for that big betrayal or whatever it was.
Yeah.
They just want to be seen that way.
Ooh, the way we sabotage ourselves.
I honestly believe that we judge others the way we judge ourselves. So the person that's bitter about life and bitter about everyone and always saying that that's their true colors and that's their true colors, you don't have a very healthy relationship with yourself, do you? And that's sad.
I think that relationship with self is a very big topic that we need to cover in the future. What is your relationship with yourself? How do you talk to yourself? And where did you get the ideals? Where did you get the concept of self from?
Yes.
What is the self we're talking about? You know?
That's one of my favorite topics.
So we can definitely cover that, because revealing yourself under pressure and all of these other things we've come to believe, or we've tried to be convinced that this is what you should believe. It's wrong. And the context, like we're saying, is so important. What was that person going through that you met them in a moment?
Yeah.
But that moment defined, you allowed that moment to define their entire, like who they are. And that's not it.
Yes. Because you have to kind of show up differently for different scenarios, right? If you don't, then you're not appreciating the value of the setting in which you are, or what it is that you're dealing with, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So I can't show up the same way I show up for kids, the way I'm going to show up for the elders.
Yeah.
Right? It has to be different. I can't be whimsical and playful with adults if we're dealing with something serious, while I'm going to be whimsical and playful with children.
Yeah.
That range that we have about how it is that we adapt relative to the situation, that is part of being human. In fact, I think that's healthy. When you don't have range, when you want to be intense and serious all the time, or you want to be laughing and joking all the time, then you've got some serious introspection to do, because you're missing the point about what's important.
Yeah.
And then you're more focused on how you want to appear rather than being real. And people don't want to be real because it feels vulnerable.
Yeah.
And if you're feeling vulnerable, there's one golden rule about vulnerability. No one can tell you when you're vulnerable.
Yeah.
Only you decide. So your vulnerability is your belief in yourself. It's not what others think of you.
And that's so important to remember, that nobody can tell you that you're being vulnerable.
Yes. You need to decide whether you're comfortable or uncomfortable, or feeling fear or not, about what it is that you're expressing, exposing, revealing, experiencing, whatever it is. You decide on that. But if you don't have enough self-awareness because you're so driven by what everyone else thinks of you, then you're going to be focused on what other people think of you in that moment, and you're going to shape yourself around that.
Absolutely. And then that's your true colors.
That's your true colors.
And I think we've got it wrong. You can see the script has been flipped. What you need to do is look at what this person has been to you your whole life, versus a single moment when there was pressure exerted and they reacted, and that was actually their wound.
Yes.
And you judge them on their wound. It's like saying when somebody gets shot, like, that's your true colors. Never mind the fact that they...
Why are you bleeding on me? It's a new outfit.
Exactly.
Seriously.
It's so inconsiderate if we look at it this way. This is so helpful. It reframes the way we need to look at how pressure affects people, and how pressure, like how you judge people. And how you should be actually looking at yourself. Don't look at them like this is your true colors. What about your true colors? Like, turn it back on you.
Yes. I joked about it earlier about being like no different to apartheid.
Yeah.
But there's truth to that, right? Because in the same way that we write people off based on the color of their skin or their ethnicity or their culture or their religion, this, your true colors, is no different to that.
Yeah.
It's the same kind of polarized, myopic, kind of prejudiced view of what people are about. And like I said, you can't give what you don't have. So the way you judge people is the way you're judging yourself. So how you're trying to show up relative to what you think people think of you, your motives for doing that, is what you're going to assume to be the motives of people doing things for you. And that will show in how it is that you trust others. If you don't trust yourself, you won't trust others. But then you'll be convinced that you're right about all of this, and that's why you can't trust this and you can't trust that. Meanwhile, you're projecting your prejudices and your insecurities and your bitterness onto someone else's motives, and you're tainting it. And then you're judging them for it, and you're treating them harshly because of it, and you're violating the trust that they place in you because of it, and all sorts of things. And it's just problem after problem after problem because you just have a bitter relationship with yourself.
Yeah. And that bitterness comes from where?
That bitterness comes from your fixation on what you think is fair and unfair about life. And you know the Japanese saying, I always love that saying because it's so on point. A bitter heart eats its owner.
Sure.
And that owner of that bitter heart, just the only thing they can give is bitterness and vitriol, and they're just constantly finding everything that's wrong about life and wrong about people and wrong about relationships, and the struggle is always the most important thing. And there's no pleasing someone like that. And that exhausts people around you. And when it exhausts the people around you and they eventually snap or lose it or run out of capacity or steam, then you look at them and you say, yeah, you see, that's your true colors. I knew you didn't care for me. You can't wear someone down, beat them down every single day, and then look at them and say, well, you see, I knew it. You're creating a self-fulfilling prophecy. Why? Because you believe you're not worth being taken care of, you're not worth being loved. So you keep testing and testing and testing until someone can't be tested anymore, because no one wants to be tested for the same thing repeatedly. And then you look at it and you see, I knew it. I knew it. There's your true colors now. You're showing it. Meanwhile, all you did was you created a self-fulfilling prophecy because of your bitterness about life.
It's amazing how people engineer, design, and then, sort of act, implement their own worst fears.
Yes. You see, the moment you have a fear, right, the nature of fear is such that you want to protect yourself from it. No one goes in like readily embraces the fear. They embrace the conviction of why it is that they believe pushing through the fear is actually important. So you have to have something of value beyond the fear that makes the fear a worthy, kind of a worthwhile cost to pay for pushing through it to achieve what you think is important and valuable, right? So no one goes and says that, oh, I am the sum of my fears. No. Why are you afraid? Where does the fear come from? That's what you're invested in.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're invested in how people are going to see you and whether they're going to reject you or not, whether they're going to validate you or they're going to mock you. You're invested in whether or not you're going to be significant. Are you going to be influential? Are you going to be relevant? Are you going to be visible or invisible? That's what causes the fear. But everyone's so fixated on the fear that they look at the behavior that results from the fear and they think that's who you are.
I love how Robin Sharma talks about fear. He says you are the architect of your fear.
Yes.
And the more you give in to your fear, the more power fear has over you.
Yes. I would go as far as saying that when you focus on fear, you actually stop thinking. You literally stop applying your mind to what it is that you're dealing with because you stop at the point of fear. This is how I feel about it, and that's all that matters. If you're driven by how you feel about stuff, I pray for the people around you.
Yeah.
Honestly, sincerely, genuinely, I pray for the people around you. Because the person who is driven by their emotions, they are so oblivious to the impact they have on others because they constantly focus on how they feel about the way others show up for them.
Yeah. Me-centered universe.
Yes.
Very dangerous. Because what about the workspace?
Oh, in the workspace, you just find more elaborate and very creative ways of cloaking that, of veiling that me culture, right? And that's where you find people who are like wearing their heart on their sleeve and wanting to be the do-gooders of the environment and the department and the team and the company, because they need to be seen that way. But the moment you cross paths with them, they won't think twice about stabbing you in the back or betraying your trust or finding a way to undermine you politically or something, because that's what the workplace allows you to do. It allows you to manipulate corporate structure and hierarchy and roles and authority and mandates so that you can get what you want. So the person who makes it to any reasonable level of authority, they use that authority then to manipulate situations so that they can prevail, not so that they can do what's best for the company. And that's how a bitter heart eats its own. You're going to taint every good opportunity in your life. You're going to taint it because you're going to see it as a struggle for survival.
Yeah.
A struggle to prevail, to dominate, and to not allow people to take advantage of you.
It sounds so exhausting.
It is.
It sounds so meticulous. You've got a plan. You've got to know how to play people against each other.
Yes.
You've got to know how you want to control people for the best outcome for yourself. I mean, after all that leaves somebody exasperated.
And what are you left with?
Nothing.
You've got nothing to show for it. Because quality of life is going to degrade. It's not going to improve. So is that your true colors? How it is that you have to show up at work?
Yeah.
Or is your true colors about how you have to show up at home? Because you know nothing's ever enough and life is tough and you didn't have the right guidance and you had a tough childhood and, you know, childhood trauma this and childhood trauma that. And yeah, while you're busy licking your wounds, you are busy inflicting new wounds on others. And that's the problem. When you have this, your true colors kind of approach to life, you don't realize what impact you have because you're constantly focused on judging who has impact on who. Who's showing up and who's not showing up.
And also, what about the person inflicting the pressure? Some people deliberately put pressure.
Why? Why would they do that? Why would someone have a reason to do that? And that's my point, right? What we assume to be the reason, their motive, is what we would be doing in that situation, so we project.
Yeah.
So if I was in that person's shoes, the only reason I would do that is if I wanted to do X, Y, and Z or get X, Y, and Z from the other person. So that's what I mean when I say that we project our motives onto others. We project our fears onto them. We project our internal bitterness onto someone else's actions, right?
Yeah.
So when someone is deliberately applying pressure or creating problems or creating conflict, that's them trying to unhealthily, in a very unproductive, destructive way, communicate what it is that they have as a struggle in life. So if they believe that they have this call to action that says that we need to get people to understand that this is not how you treat people. So because no one wants to listen to me, I'm going to treat you that way so you can see what it's like.
Yeah. Yeah.
Boom, there's your true colors, huh?
Yeah.
No, that's just a poorly informed decision to achieve what we think is a noble goal.
Where does this concept of true colors originate from? Like the saying, yeah, now you're showing me your true colors. Where does it actually come from?
You know, I always said that our community is probably one of the most endemically insecure communities I've ever encountered.
Yeah.
That's where it comes from.
The insecure.
We're insecure because we're so hierarchical in how it is that we approach everything, right? Socially and personally, there's always hierarchies that we trying to fit into and trying to prove ourselves to.
So you know what's interesting as I research this, where does the term true colors come from? It comes from an 18th century naval warfare. Warships would often sail under false colors, fly an enemy or friendly flag to deceive opponents before engaging in battle. A ship was required to replace the deceptive flag with its actual national flag, officially revealing its true colors.
False flag, huh?
False flag to deceive the enemy.
Aha. So, can you see what it reveals about the person who latches onto this narrative of true colors?
Yes.
It says that you're constantly believing that someone's trying to play you, someone's trying to do you in, someone's trying to undermine you. Is that the purpose of your life? To try to expose every person you think is suspicious by nature?
But that's terrible because you never ever experience genuine relationships.
Yes,
And you are never genuine because you're also flying a false flag to find out who's flying false flags.
exactly.
So
Right.
exasperating much. Exasperating much.
So the cost of living life suspiciously is massive on like a scale I can't even begin to explain or describe. Because suspicion destroys things all the time. You can be curious, you can be cautious, you can like be genuinely interested in wanting to make sure that what you see is what is actually happening. No
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah.
But suspicion is assuming the worst before you have any reason to assume the worst.
Mm.
So now if you approach life like that, show me one good quality, healthy, grounded, meaningful, deep relationship you're going to be able to have.
With another person
Or even with yourself.
who is as suspicious of other
Yes.
people. Your vibe attracts your tribe, yeah.
And that's why you have the punch out circles, right?
Yes. Yes.
Because everyone can share in that suspicious kind of nature and
Yes.
gossip and everything else.
Yeah.
But the moment one person pushes back and says, hey, no, man, stop talking bad about people like that. I know that person, they're not like that.
Yeah.
Then what is it? Oh, no, now you think you're too good for us.
Yeah. Or, or I think you are not okay. I don't think you're looking at this clearly.
Yeah,
You're not
no,
seeing
you think
it
you know
from
better than us.
my
You don't know.
point of view.
Yeah.
You don't know how it made me feel.
See?
Why is it so important to get people on your side all the time? Why do people do this?
Because if you don't do that, what do you have to show for yourself? What's your place? What's your relevance? What's your worth to the people around you? And that's why if the only thing you believe keeps you relevant to people around you is by creating drama, then your insecurity about not being relevant is going to drive you to create drama because that's your coping mechanism.
Yeah. And those are exasperating people to be around, hey? Where
Completely.
there's constant drama and crisis, constant trauma and whatever that they create just to keep you there, just to keep you, in the place they need you to be to manipulate, to get what they need.
How many elderly people have to do that with their families because if they don't do that, they just disappear into the background?
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So is that their true colors, them creating drama?
No. I think that, it's very sad that in our elderly community, they become so forgotten that
Yes.
they've got to resort to a health crisis
Yes.
for their children to come visit. And they find that, okay, if I only when I'm sick, they come to visit. So let me just be sick.
Yes.
And then, yeah.
And you see, it's not that they consciously, deliberately contemplating like, what can I be sick with next?
Yeah.
It's that becoming invisible has an emotional duress
Yeah.
that causes physical duress
Yeah.
that causes illness. So what happens then is that you start embracing the ill health. You don't try to mitigate it and overcome it. It's because like, hey, if it's happening to me, it's happening to me. And then maybe then they'll notice or maybe someone will care. Right? But talking about today's topic about what's your true colors. So is it then fair to say that in families where the elders are relegated to being a figurehead, being a token kind of role in the family, is that the true colors of the family? Is that the true colors of the adults in that family or the grown children who then relegate their parents to being nothing more than just a babysitter from time to time?
Yeah. It's a very introspective question. If we flip the script of true colors, if we flip the question the other way, what do you come out with? Are people really thinking of themselves deep? I find that currently it's a shallow outlook, it's a shallow perspective, and it's destroying family units and destroying the future.
Yes.
Because our youth, what do they have to look up to? No, they show their true colors. Just cut them out.
Yeah. They'll learn. Let them learn the hard way, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Yes, we all have bad days and we can say that. But if you follow through on that with conviction, then that's who you are. You're malicious and you're spiteful about how it is that you want others to learn. If you've learned something the hard way, why would you want to wish that on someone else?
Yeah. Again, selfishness. My way is the right way, so you learn my way.
Yes.
Yeah.
So when you decide on who you want to be in life rather than who you have to be in life, then you hold yourself to a higher standard.
True.
But if you only focus on who you have to be, you're going to be defined by the roles that you have to fill. the role of being a parent or being a sibling or being a son or daughter or whatever it is. You're going to be defined by that role, which means that that role is going to give you your sense of self, as opposed to you shaping that role, how you show up in that role based on who you are, not based on what the role dictates.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's why so many people love corporate life, because it gives them something to shape themselves around.
Yeah.
Without that, they don't know who they are.
Take it away and then see the spiral.
Yep.
Yeah. There's a lot of people who actually go into, you see them coming out of their corporate life and they are shadows of who they used to be. All they talk about is, I used to be this and I did that. Did you know I did this? You're like, no, but who are you? Like, where do you live?
Yes.
Let's go down to the simple things. Where do you live? What's your favorite foods? But they still want to name drop. Do you know I worked with the CEO of Wawawa? I headed projects, and you're like, but you don't do that anymore.
Yes, and how is that relevant to what we're talking about now?
Yes.
Right.
And you're thinking, they say, I ran projects, meaning I was placed under so much pressure.
Yes.
And I was a person of like high importance.
Yes.
And I still am. And and you're just thinking, but why is it important to you that it's important to me? Enough to mention to
when it comes to this, there's one line from a movie with Peter Sellers that always sticks with me. It was The Party. It was a movie that was made in the 60s, I think, 1968 or something like that, right? But Peter Sellers, the character is in there. He gets into this one situation where this guy looks at him and says, "Hey, buddy, who do you think you are?" And Peter Sellers turns around and looks at him and says, "In India, we don't think who we are. We know who we are."
Wow.
And that's something that always sticks with me, is that who do you think you are? Right? Because if you don't know who you are, then you're going to constantly be completely given to wondering about what other people think of you. And that's going to define your struggle in life. And you're going to go around wearing your heart on your sleeve, telling everyone how tough life is because look at all the things I have to deal with.
Yeah.
If you've got a lot to deal with it. And if there's people around you that can support you in it, accept their support or solicit their support.
Yeah.
But don't go being a victim of life and then complaining that life is so tough.
Yeah.
Because while you're complaining that life is tough, I promise you are letting someone else down.
Yeah.
And then their life becomes tough because you were complaining about how tough your life is.
Yeah. 100%. 200%. And it's punishment for people who actually have the realization to deal with people who do not. And it's not that they cannot, they choose not to.
Yes.
It's just easier to be, the latter. It's easier to be that. It's easier to judge people. It's easier to look for faults in people. It's just easier. It comes naturally. To actually look for the good stuff takes effort they're not willing to make.
So to answer the question about what are your true colors, I think that if you take away your titles, if you take away your wealth, if you take away your job, if you take all of that away, what you're left with, that's who you are. That's your true colors. So if you change who you are as a person, as a human, in the absence of having those things that stroke your ego, that elevates your social standing, if you take all of that away, you'll discover who you really are.
Yeah. Some people are looking at the ruins now. They're like, me, I'm bankrupt.
Right. And that is where deathbed regrets come from. When you're laying there in your last moments and you're wondering what was the purpose of it all.
Yeah.
You're either going to be pleased that you lived a life of fulfillment and purpose and conviction, or you're going to sit there being bitter and feeling regret about the fact that you let so many people down because you were distracted by what you thought was important.
Well, I think this is definitely answered the question. We have done justice to the topic. Asma coming through as always. Asma, we appreciate you. I'm enjoying today's discussion on what are your true colors. It's such a thought-provoking topic that encourages us to reflect on our character and sincerity. Jazakallah khair for such meaningful content to both Nazia and Coach Said. Have a beautiful day ahead. And you too, Asma. And be mindful of your true colors. We must all be mindful of our own true colors before we start looking for the true colors in other people.
And here's the thing, right? If someone accuses you of saying that bad moment you had, that's your true colors.
Yeah.
You can either dismiss them and shrug it off, or you can get offended about it, or if you really are holding yourself to a higher standard, then you must put in the effort to get them to understand that, hold on, that's not really who I am. I'm sorry if it came across that way, whatever it is. What is it that we need to figure out or sort out so that this doesn't define our relationship going forward?
Yeah. And that takes work. I think that is the unpopular response. Everyone is like, "What do you mean? We're not gonna have a blowout? Like you want to talk about this?"
Yeah, and the passive aggressive response is, "I'm sorry you feel that way," and then they do nothing about it.
Oh my god!
I'm so sorry you feel that way, but I respect that that's your feelings. And
If you want to trigger
oh my
someone,
God.
that's how you go. I'm sorry if that's the way you feel.
Yeah,
You take no responsibility. You're just like, I'm sorry if that's the way it made you feel.
but I'm not going to respond to the way you think of me and blah blah blah. No, please get over yourself.
I thought this interview was not going to do what it has just done, but it has. I am so happy, Coach Zaid. Today we really landed this because it flipped the script for our listeners, for ourselves. What is your parting message on true colors, showing your true colors and seeing it in other people?
If you had to introspect, if you had to look at yourself through other people's eyes, what would you think they think is your true colors?
Mm-hmm.
Right? And I'm not talking of people that you encounter casually in the street or at work or something. I'm talking of the people that know you the most.
Mm-hmm.
The people that you spend the most time with, that see you in your worst moments, that see you when you wake up grumpy in the morning.
Yeah.
I'm talking about those people. The people who count on you and the people who have rights over you. How is it that you're responding to their rights that they have over you?
Mm-hmm.
That's a reflection of who you are.
Yeah.
And if you like what you see in that regard, good for you. Do more of it.
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't blame life and don't blame them for how it is that you're bitter about life.
Mm-hmm.
You wake up in the morning and you get to choose what you want to do with your day.
Mm-hmm.
Every single one of us has the same amount of time available. The person who wants to be someone a certain way, they'll find the time to do what is right.
Mm-hmm.
And the person who just wants everyone to understand how difficult it is, they'll find the time to make excuses about why they can't do what's right.
Mm-hmm.
So what's your true colors?
That is such an awesome question. Sounds like a you problem.
Yes, that's a you problem.
This is a you problem. Coach Say Jazakallah khair for today's amazing topic. And we look forward to next week. Until then, please stay out of trouble, stay out of harm's way, stay out of stray bullets.
Oh yeah, that might be a bit difficult, Gauteng and all of that, but yeah, no, inshallah we'll be safe and we'll all be able to build on what's good.
Ameen.
And if you're a remnant of apartheid, please get a new education.
Oh my word. You heard it here. 92.2 East Wave FM. Jazakallah khair. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.